Welcome back to the channel, people. KG is back, and it's time for a brand new video talking today transfer business and a much welcome departure come the summer. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. And I think it's great for all parties. I do. Have we lost money on the deal? I will also get into that in the video as well. So stay tuned. Before I do, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, drop your thoughts and comments below. Thank you to Mr. P for a super thanks on the last video. Much appreciate Mr. P, and big up to all existing members. It really does mean a lot. And if you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description. So getting straight into this, Rasmus Kristensen, I'm sure many of you have forgotten about him, but he will be leaving this summer permanently. Florian Plettenberg, big German reporter over there for Sky Sports, did report this yesterday, and he's been pretty much on top of all Rasmus Kristensen news ever since he came to Leeds United, in all fairness. But he reported this yesterday. Eintracht Frankfurt will sign Rasmus Kristensen on a permanent deal. An agreement with Leeds has been reached in principle. SGE had an option to buy of 10 to 12 million euros. However, after positive renegotiations between Marcus Kreusch and Leeds United, an agreement has been reached for a fixed €6 million fee deal. With bonuses, the total amount can increase to €8 million. The contract will run until at least 2029, and here's the rest of it. However, it will take a few more weeks before the deal is officially announced. The clubs have agreed on this. The 27-year-old right back is a key player for Frankfurt, leader. Wow. Some of the things that you just can't even compute when it came to Rasmus at Leeds United. But by all ends, they've been very impressed with him all season. I even just saw that he's been nominated for their Player of the Month for February. So it just shows you, doesn't it? It's like boxing, isn't it? Style makes fights. Because look, I'll speak about my thoughts on Rasmus for us in the Premier League. But you know, at the end of the day, he's a professional footballer, and he was good at Salzburg. There's no denying that. He earned him international honors, and by all accounts, he's been good here. It didn't work out so good for him at Roma, but it's working out very well from here. Frankfurt are fighting for Champions League football over in the Bundesliga. They're currently third as I record this. But when it came to Leeds United, people, wow. And before I get into that, though, I remember when we did the video about him leaving on loan and we had them having an option to buy between 10 and 12 million euros. I said, good luck with that. You know, it's very unlikely we're going to get that. I always figured with Rasmus, we'd be lucky to get 2 to 3 million back. I really did. I thought we'd be lucky to get that for him just based on what we saw, and after his loan spell at Roma, which didn't go well, but he seems to have redeemed himself. Now, some people will be thinking, why have Leeds agreed to lower the fee? It just probably suits all parties, people. It's one of those where Frankfurt probably can't go to that amount, which I think everyone knew. I think it was just so Eintracht Frankfurt did have the option there as a matter, of course, of the contract. But I think even Leeds, when you take into account wages, when you take into account just keep on sending him out on loan, kicking the can down the road, the fact that you can get this money, I think is a good thing. And listen, we're not losing any money. This report is from the YEP. We paid around 11 million for Rasmus, which again in itself is an overpayment. So the money that Frankfurt are spending is kind of what we should have spent, but we just overpaid for him, you know, and I think that's pretty obvious with the goods that we got. But they say in here, in essence, because we paid 11 million for him and it was amortized over his contract. In essence, Leeds tied themselves down to paying around 2.15 million each year for the duration of Christian's contract, which come the summer will be 3 years in. Or 3 years in, NRO Chiefs will therefore have paid off around 6.5 when it comes to their accounts, meaning any future sale above 4.5 would, at least in terms of P&S, mean profit is made. And should Plettenberg's reported fee be correct, then Leeds have guaranteed they at least break even on Kristensen and even report a small profit in accounting terms, while any future bonus payments will go down as profit thanks to the amortization process. There you go. So even though the fee is lower than what we've paid, because of how accounting works, we will actually make money back on Rasmus, which for me is a win within itself. Look, the player that I thought we was getting did not come as advertised. Did not come as advertised at all. And it's fair to say it was a 10 million flop. And I think that's very easy to say. He came in to replace Luke Ayling, who was not a Premier League footballer. But there was some point in the season where, and I remember doing these streams where I said, he's got to come out. Luke Ayling is going to have to come back in because he's been just that bad down the right-hand side in defense. We're going to have to bring Ayling back in, which kind of just tells you why we finished with 31 points in all seriousness. But the thing with Rasmus as well in the Premier League, and like I say to you, he's doing well in Germany, but the Premier League, it was too physical for him. And we saw that after the first game against Wolves. Neto, who's a tricky customer, and he's got decent strength, but the way he sat down Rasmus made me go. I remember doing the match reaction, people. I went, should Neto be doing that to Rasmus Kristensen, the Viking? And it was kind of like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And just game after game, he was just, I always say he looked like Bambi on one leg for me. He looked like he had no balance. He looked like he had no control. His first touch was horrendous as well when he was at Leeds United. And I remember the one time that he got a positive was when we beat Chelsea. And even then, the performance, if you're being real, it was just normal. It was just a normal one. But because he'd been so atrocious up to that point, it was like, oh, well, this is signs of goodness here. But then come later in the season, he had to come out the team for Luke Ayling. And that kind of tells you the whole story of Rasmus Christensen, just nothing there. And look, maybe it's just that England isn't for him. And we're seeing it now with Anthony. Look, Anthony is not a Premier League player. I think Man United definitely overpaid for him. But you see him now at Real Betis in Spain. He's cooking out there. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just the league and the player just can't adapt to it, and or they're not suited to the league, like boxers and everything else like that. Stars make fights, don't they? And it just wasn't going to work out for him. So I think it's a great thing that we've sold him permanently. I did not want this one to be where we just loaning him year on year. And I hope that there's plans to do next Jack Harrison. I need that one to be done. I don't want him being on Leeds United's books. I don't want I don't want him slithering back into this team. He cannot do that for me. He's not for me. We need to get away from that era of player, that confidence player. Need them gone. We've got to have a whole new strategy come the summer. And I hope that I don't think Everton are going to try and sign him. I'll be real. Unless Angus Kinnear is going to push for it when he does leave for Everton, I don't see Everton trying to sign Jack Harrison. We're going to have to find him a new home, or he's been very good as well. Him and his agent are finding a new home. Maybe he can do it as well. Try and find a new home for him because he cannot be Leeds United. But this one for me is a positive. Was the fee as much as what we'd hope for? Maybe not, but I'm happy with it. I'm absolutely happy because I honestly did think we would have to settle for around 3 to 4 million for this player and have to eat one hell of a loss just because we overpaid for the player in the beginning. So people, what say you? I mean, obviously, I cannot imagine anyone is thinking, I wish we had Rasmus in the Prem. But if you're out there, put it in the comments. What is your feeling on this? Are you happy with the fee? What else needs to be done in terms of players going out that are out on loan? What else would you do in terms of this? And listen, should we have got more, or are you happy with the fee? And that's what I would say there. And that is it for the report on Rasmus Christensen. And listen, let me just say this. He's not, I don't think he's a bad guy or nothing, but he was just not a fit for Leeds United. And let me just close with that. But that is it. Please like the video before you go. Subscribe to the channel. Drop your thoughts below. And I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.